Nerdly presents the feed where the reels unwind. Off the real podcast, digging deep in the grind. Indie flicks, low cash, big dreams in the frame. No blockbuster hype, just the realest in the game. Reviews so sharp.
We can all agree that Nicolas Cage is the greatest actor of all time, right? My name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Presents. It's a Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review. I'm sitting down to talk about the new Nicolas Cage movie, The Surfer, or the newest Nicolas Cage movie, The Surfer. He's probably dropped like another 4 since this came out. That's just how the man operates. And this was also a Lorcan Finnegan directed movie. Lorcan Finnegan also did the movie Vivarium, which was a Jesse Eisenberg movie, which left me just as bloody confused as this movie did. So yeah, I will do what I normally do, and that is to give you the plot of the movie. Then I'll jump into cast and crew of the movie. Then I'll talk about what I did and didn't like about the movie. Then I will give you my off-the-reel review rating. My rating might be a little bit weird this time around because I will tell you, I watched this movie with my daughter, and when we got to the end of the movie, the credits started to roll, we both kind of just turned and looked at each other and went, okay, what was that about? So let's get into the IMDb synopsis of this movie because I always enjoy giving you these right now. So a man returns to the idyllic beach of his childhood to surf with his son. When he is humiliated by a group of locals, the man is drawn into a conflict that keeps rising and pushes him to his breaking point. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, that pretty much sums up the movie. Basically, Nicolas Cage comes to this beach. He's talking on the phone to his broker and he wants to buy a beach house up on the cliffs. This is the beach house of his childhood, and all of a sudden it's come up for sale. So he sees the opportunity to go and buy it. He wants to take his son out into the sea on their board so that they can look up at the cliff because that's the best place to get a good view of this house. And when they get down there, there is a group of locals. And these locals are kind of like, if you're not local, you don't surf. No local, no surf. Kind of like Point Break in a way. Nicolas Cage ain't too happy about this because he's like, I want to take my son out there. And they're like, dude, you're not surfing here. You're not local, you don't surf. But being a stubborn little bastard that Nicolas Cage is, he doesn't want to leave just yet because he wants to, A, close the deal while at the beach to buy the house, but B, he wants to take his son down on the beach, and if he wants to take his son down on the beach, he should be pretty freaking allowed. Things do start to escalate as it gets hotter and hotter throughout the day. His phone runs out of battery at one point. His car gets vandalized at one point. The police turn up, but they're not really taking him too serious. So I might as well just get into my cast and crew. And starting number 1, Nicolas Cage. I mean, where else was I going to start? This is another showcase for Nicolas Cage. It's practically a one-man show. He is the main character. He's one of the only characters, and he is on screen for what I believe 90% of the time, if not 95% of the time. He is always on screen. He's always doing his Nicolas Cage thing, and of course, as we know with Nicolas Cage, he's just going to get nuttier and nuttier as the movie goes on. This is a man who fully commits. He fully commits to every role, and I do thoroughly believe and wholeheartedly think that that's why these movies get made, because he's so bloody passionate about the art form. He's so bloody passionate about the movies he makes, and he's just so bloody passionate about being an actor. So yeah, I just genuinely always get a kick out of seeing him do what he loves to do. I don't care how silly he gets. We could sit here and do a top 10 of why Nicolas Cage's career went so wrong, top 10 bad Nicolas Cage movies. We could sit here and do that all the live long day, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to champion the man for a moment. We're going to talk about him as the actor that he truly, truly, truly believes he is. The box office might not show that anymore. The sales might not show that anymore. But you can't deny that when you see a Nicolas Cage movie coming out, you want to see it. You want to see just how Nicolas Cage this movie is. You want to see just how batshit nuts he gets in the weeds on this one. And in this movie, he's balls deep in the weeds. Here was a nice surprise though. Julian McMahon is in this movie. In that TV show Nip Tuck. Really good in that show. Loved him in that show. He was also in Fantastic Four, the original Fantastic Four. Not the Roger Corman original, like the one that came after it. So he's here playing like this surfing god, surfing guru kind of guy. He's kind of the leader of all the kids that won't let people on the beach. I really liked what he was doing. He was kind of sunburnt all the way through the movie, but genuinely, He's captivating. He's charismatic. You're not supposed to like him. However, you can't help but kind of love what he's doing. And when you put him against Nicolas Cage, who again is so out there and so nuts with it, you put Julian McMahon in there, who's not necessarily always that nuts, but really feeding off Nicolas Cage's energy. I thought we got a really good performance out of him. We got like a little bit left center of what we'd normally see him do. So it was really cool to see what Julian McMahon was doing here, and he really adds to the movie, adds to that guru nature. About the only other character you can really talk about at any sort of length, Finn Little, who plays Nicolas Cage's son in the movie, turns up a couple of times, doesn't really do a great deal, but yeah, he was fine. He was absolutely fine. So the only other person really worth talking about is the director of the movie, which is Lorcan Finnegan. Again, I did see Vivarium a couple of years ago, and I did finish that movie thinking, what in the hell did I just watch? And when I finished this movie, when the credits rolled, I was thinking, what in the hell did I just watch? I truly just wasn't really sure at any real point, from the halfway point of the movie, what was going on here. There was this old guy who turns up. He's like an old homeless vagrant living in his car in the car park. And I'm sort of sitting there thinking, is that meant to be Nicolas Cage? And Nicolas Cage is like just this old guy's imagining himself as a young Nicolas Cage. I do think there'll be people out there who spend their time really deep diving into this movie and dissecting us and telling us what the ending actually was. I feel like I got to that point. I feel like I knew where we were, but we can talk about it in the comments down below. But I do feel like I got what the movie was trying to say and trying to do. A lot more than I did with Vivarium, because that movie, I just did not really get where that was going. I did not really understand what we were doing there. I just kind of thought, I love Jesse Eisenberg, and this movie's pretty badass. This movie is definitely badass. So what I did and didn't like, loved the cinematography. It's not hard to make a movie like this look as glorious as it does. You've got the beaming sunshine, which always shows everything in its best and worst light. You've got the beach, you've got the cliff tops, you've got just the sea, the sun, the sand, all that good stuff that just looks gorgeous when filmed correctly. I'm not saying that means you don't need any skill to make this stuff look good. You still need all that stuff, but it helps when the thing just picturesquely looks as gorgeous as it does, and then all you have to do is point a camera on it and make sure you've got the goods in your area, and you can make this look just as good as it possibly could. I think the score to this movie, although sometimes there's not much of a score, other times the score really takes over and really does hit home a lot of the beats and really does hit home the tension, the boiling nature of the sun, the heat just coming through. There were times where I truly felt like I could feel the heat coming out of the screen at me, which was pretty cool, I won't lie. I did quite like all of that. I think Lorcan Finnegan has put together a crack team here to make this really cool, really interesting, touching on story beats of toxic masculinity. In a way, it's there if you want to see it, but if you just want to be entertained by Nicolas Cage being crazy for an hour and a half, then you're going to get that as well. But if you really want to look further in, which I'm sure Lorcan wants you to do, seeing what these people are, like this little cult kind of surfer gang are doing in terms of like bringing people in to break them down, to build them back up, there is that kind of story in there for you to see. So I'm just going to get into my off-the-reel review rating, because genuinely I don't think there's much all else I can say about this movie, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. This isn't my favourite Nicolas Cage movie ever made. It's not even my favourite Nicolas Cage movie of the last 5 years. We can discuss that at length in another video, but yeah, it is just kind of a Nicolas Cage performance. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do, and he's doing it very well. Did I fully invest? Did I fully love the story we were getting? Not really. It just felt like we kept doing the same things kind of over and over again, just with varying degrees, varying results. That may be the point of the movie, but it just felt a little bit overplayed at times. I do think it's well written. I do think that when you get all these little twisty-turny moments, which could or could not be twisty-turny moments, completely depends on your perception of the movie, I think after a while I was just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to just round out this movie. I'm ready to come to the end now. And when it did come to the end, it was like, right, okay, happy days. I'm good with this. We can move on now. Would I watch The Surfer again? I don't know how much rewatchability this movie does have. I guess you could go back and try and spot little bits here and there, but I don't know how much rewatchability there is in this film. I just think, much like Vivarium as well, a movie that, again, I truly did enjoy, but I don't know how much I would want to go back and rewatch that film, if you know what I mean. So there is that, which kind of knocks it down a little bit. Nicolas Cage's performance is brilliant. Julian McMahon's performance is brilliant. The scene where he's on the car and he's eating the burger in front of Nicolas Cage, who is like hungry as hell, thirsty as hell, and feels like he's kind of just dying inside and out. That scene is a really cool scene. It's wonderfully shot, beautifully like edited, just the way it's all done. I did thoroughly enjoy what was going on there, and that is the scene that I personally think kind of encapsulates what this movie is all about, that one scene. So pay particular attention to what's going on there, what Julian McMahon is actually saying in that scene. This movie for me gets a 3.5 out of 5. Lorcan Finnegan, you still have my interest, you absolutely do. Sometimes the best thing you can say about a movie is that it confused me and it made me think. And for the couple of days after I'd watched this movie, although I didn't feel like I needed to rewatch it, me and my daughter kept talking about it, and we kept trying to figure out what we thought of the movie, what we thought it was about, and what our personal opinion was of the film. That's a good thing. As long as people are talking, that's an excellent thing that you've done with your film. So absolutely pat on the back for that. It was a cracking little film that I think people should watch. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. Please do go over to nerdly.co.uk, our British website where we cover everything from the big budget to low budget to no budget. Hit me in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of this movie. If you think I'm bang out of order, if you think this is an absolute masterpiece, then please do hit me down below in the comments and we can continue the conversation there, because that's where the conversation should always continue. Let's just be friends, let's talk about movies, and let's move on to the next one. My name's Kevin Halden, and I will be back very soon. See you in the next one.